who is in charge here? I mean, for anybody to keep on saying over and over again that nobody really knows, that nobody anywhere in the Defense Department has any coordinated understanding of what these vehicles are, where they come. Nobody can believe that. I mean, I've always been willing to attribute a certain level of incompetence to any government organization, because I've seen it so often, from police departments to defense departments to CIA to everybody else, but nothing on this scale. You don't have vehicles being monitored coming from 80,000 feet down to 50 feet above the water in less than 1 second. Estimated about 43,000 miles an hour, and then going underwater and traveling at 100, now 200 miles an hour, or under the water, and all around our battleships and our aircraft and over nuclear facilities and turning off the nuclear missiles. And then nobody is figuring out who these people are. I mean, that's just not happening. So that this constant, oh, shucks, we just don't quite know what's going on, or everybody's in their own stovepipe and they aren't communicating with each other. I mean, that nobody with a political IQ above room temperature believes that, and so the thing we have to keep pressing for here is, who is in charge here? If secretaries of defense aren't being briefed in on this, if presidents of the United States are not being briefed in on this, if the heads of Senate intelligence committees are not being briefed on this, who is it that's briefed in on this? Who is it that's doing the briefing in on this? That exists somewhere. And that's the key to this thing. And what that does is it bleeds over into the entire question about our government. Who is it that is in charge of really pulling the strings behind the Democratic Party, Republican Party, the Senate and the House? Who is it they're all afraid of? I spent 20 years in Washington, D.C., and it's perfectly clear that when you start pressing on them over a number of different issues, for example, I brought a full memo laying out the smuggling operations of the cocaine operations being smuggled with Central Intelligence Agency participation into the United States. I met with the head of the DEA, and I pushed the memo across the desk to him, and he looked at it and read it, and he looked up and pushed it back to me, and he said, "Look, Dan, you know what this is, and so do I. I plan to live to see my retirement."